Good to see you, Paul.
Good to see you too, Jim.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Well, it's that time of year again.
Yeah, I've really been looking forward to this.
I appreciate that. Most brokers don't.
I know it. I really feel sorry that you have to put up with so much mediocrity.
Well, let's get started. Paul, tell me about your business plan for growing your business this next year.
Well, as you know, I have about 150 households. Combined, they account for $90 million in assets. As you know, 50% of the assets are in wrap fee accounts. I charge them 2% fees. That pays me $900,000 gross. On the other 50%, I typically generate about 75 basis points in commissions, or $337,000. This would depend on whether the investment bank will give me a higher syndicate allowance. So combined, I'll do around $1.2 million in gross this year.
Paul, that was a nice job of summarizing the current state of your business. It doesn't tell me how you are going to grow your business this next year.
I don't understand.
All right, let me ask you some questions. Would that be okay?
Okay.
You have about 90 million in assets, right?
Yes.
Do you know how much in assets you had 5 years ago?
No.
How about 4 years ago?
No.
Okay, how about any of the last 3 years?
I think I've been growing my business 20% a year over the last 3 years.
According to your business profile that I've been studying and gave you a copy of 3 weeks ago, the highest level of assets you had was 101 million in assets, and that was 3 years ago. Today, you are at 86.8 million. In terms of assets, your business has shrunk 4.925% per year. Where did you come up with the 20%?
Oh, that comes from my increase in revenues.
Okay, again studying the results from your business profile, you had revenues of $877,000 3 years ago. Today you are at 1.2 million. Annually that's 12%. You're a broker. Tell me how you got to 20%.
I'll have to study the numbers again and get back to you on that.
Okay, tell me how you were able to increase revenues while assets were dropping over the last 3 years.
I increased fees.
Okay, let's assume that in the next 3 years you will not be able to raise fees. Assets continue to drop at the current rate. What will the impact be on your business?
It will drop some.
Yes, by $200,000. Would you be okay with that?
No. That would put a crimp on some plans.
Okay, so let's focus just on how would you be able to bring in more assets over the next 3 years. By the way, how did you raise the assets that you are managing now? Did you do seminars, cold calling, or what?
No. When a broker left, I made sure I was the first one in the manager's office and the first to pick through the accounts.
Wow, you really have to be patient with it as a business strategy.
You're telling me. The last 3 years, no brokers left.
This must have been tough on you. How did you make it through slumps like this before?
I would buddy up with a broker who had accounts that I wanted and convince him that the previous branch manager was out to get him. Then introduce him to a competing manager in town. A couple of times, they actually thought that I was moving with them. Then at the last minute, I would stop at the door. The previous manager was ready for their departure.
Naturally. I guess they were tipped off.
And I would be the first in line.
Paul, the firm changed the account handout strategy. Now the computer reassigns the accounts throughout the branch.
Oh?
So now what activity will you perform to grow your assets over the next 3 years?
You are a successful branch manager. What are other brokers doing around the firm?
They find a way to differentiate themselves.
Like how?
Paul, we compete with others based on performance, service and fees. Performance we'll save for another day. Fees will not be used as the strategy going forward. So we need to discuss how to differentiate based on service.
Wow. It's like you reading my mind.
Really?
Yeah. I've been waiting for the opportunity to discuss this with you. It's an idea that I know will, as you call it, differentiate me in the local market. It should increase my assets by 20 to 25 million per year. I have already asked several of my biggest clients and they really insisted that I do this.
What would be the differentiator, Paul?
I need to paint my office a color that matches my leather furniture, rug and paintings.
What?
Seriously. The taupe color does not accentuate the red hues in my paintings.
Paul, I'm sorry, I have a headache now. Can't we pick this up later?
Super. I need to go and get my interior designer on the phone anyway.
Paul, you're not going to paint your office.
Why not?
If I let you do it, everyone will want to. The branch would end up looking like a Jackson Pollock painting. No.
So you are not going to let me differentiate myself and grow my business?
Paul, I will let you grow your business, but it will require effort from you, Paul.
Now I wish I had left with the last broker.
Paul, I will help you pack. Besides, there are some other brokers who have been waiting for you to leave.